Step Together team are very approachable, also very helpful, also give you enough time to listen of your complaint, or that if there's any issues that they take it on board and offer lots of help to resolve the situation.
I think the community needs more youth workers and shouldn't take it away from the children. Why they're taking it away from the children? I mean, the children need this community and they need support from the youth workers, somewhere to go and feel safe.
Well, I think that considering Dudley as one of the most vulnerable areas in the West Midlands, I think you guys have done a brilliant job.
I think it's something positive for the community, especially seeing the sort of age range that you deal with. From what I've seen, it deals with a lot of it looks like high school sort of kids. And I know that coming from that age myself, I know that a lot of people can go off the path there and go into different things at that age.
Yeah, I think it's massively improved. I think that with the antisocial behaviour that went on before, a lot of people realise now that there's people taking note and actually addressing the situation.
Before, I used to see lots of kids coming from school, just hanging around in the market and smoking, and for a while I haven't seen that. I think since you start in this community, I haven't seen much of the groups in the market smoking and walking around, and so yeah.
I think you do a really good job. I really do. I mean, my son has 3 disabilities and I swear he's come leaps and bounds since coming here, and my daughter has as well. My children have somewhere to go in the hours that they're normally not allowed out due to the crime and the violence, and one of my children have disability, and I don't think he was safe before coming here with the youth club, and they've gave him confidence to actually come out of the house now, and I'm really proud of that, and I'm grateful for that as well.
For it to stop now, I think would be maybe take it back to the original state. So if it was kept up and running, it would keep things going in the right direction.
It's probably not going to be a positive outcome, really, especially if they're being supported by you guys and they're not getting that support elsewhere. It's not going to be the best outcome, really, is it?
I think personally what's going to happen is the children aren't going to have nothing to do. They're going to get really bored, and the crime's going to get higher because they have nowhere to go, nothing to do, and no one to guide them in the right direction.
It will definitely be a great loss, because not everyone is willing to work with these kids, and if they are taking away the service, I think it's a loss, because they're gonna have to invest money for the kids that are gonna be lost for the community, for the gangs and for the criminality. My idea is that there is lots of sharks in Dudley. After those kids that are vulnerable, there is lots of broken homes. The biggest problem in Dudley is youth going into criminality, being recruited by gangs. Sometimes they just go unconscious because the gang members, they just use their vulnerability. So it's definitely not wise they're taking this type of services from the community.
My name's Raja, and I work here at Geek Retreat Dudley. I grew up in Dudley. Benefits with yourselves, obviously, I've said earlier, it just helps that age group of kids grow up with people actually there supporting them, keeping their interests and their hobbies still active, rather than just letting them wander off and do whatever whatever they want. If they're classed as vulnerable, they could be, I don't know another word for it, but exploited, basically. From my experience, I've seen kids nowadays struggle with socializing, so they don't really have the same sort of social skills as before lockdown would, because they've not grown up, they've missed out 2 years of schooling and being around other kids and all that sort of stuff. Like, you know, there's a fine line where you can like slip into like basically crime or slip into like this. And I've seen it happen with some kids where it starts off with something minor and then they get roped in by like gangs to do whatever. But with youth workers there, hopefully that can be like, you know, reduced, or the likelihood of that happening will be reduced.
That is not wise to take out the service. It's silly.
They shouldn't stop the funding for these youth workers, because at the end of the day the community needs them and the children do as well.
They cut corners, it seems, with a lot of things, but they shouldn't really cut corners with stuff like this, because there's no real cost for a young life. There's no real cost for any life really, but a young life which is still ready to grow, and they haven't even taken their steps yet into like, they haven't even thought about what they want to do. They haven't even hit like 16, 18 yet. Like, there's a lot of things out there for them to experience, and you know, there's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, who do take advantage of stuff like that.